back to Clone Wars, the spin-off. I want to start with something the OGs learned the hard way. Back in the day, a lot of us signed whatever was in front of us for a check that felt big at the time. Masters gone, publishing gone, name and likeness gone. Today we're talking about the flip side of that lesson. Artists who said no to the bigger check because they wanted the smaller piece of the actual business.
This is a real culture shift too, not just a money shift. When a brand only wants to pay you a flat fee, that's a paid ad, plain and simple. They get the clout, you get a check, and 6 months later nobody remembers the campaign. When a brand gives you equity, that's them saying, we're actually building something with you. That changes how you show up creatively, how you talk about it, everything.
Right, it's the difference between renting your name out for a weekend and actually owning a piece of the block.
Let's put real numbers on it because the math is not close. Jay-Z's Doucet deal, if he'd taken a straight endorsement over 10 years, industry estimates put that around $50 million. Instead, he took equity in the brand itself. When LVMH bought a majority stake, that $50 million turned into roughly $750 million. That's 15 times the payout for choosing ownership over a paycheck. 50 Cent did the same thing with Vitaminwater. He turned down guaranteed money to take equity in Glaceau instead. When Coca-Cola bought that company for over $4 billion, his stake was worth somewhere between 60 and 100 million, about 20 times bigger than the check he walked away from. And this isn't old news anymore. This is the standard now. This year, more than half of all brand deals, 53%, are structured with performance or equity upside, almost double what it was 2 years ago.
And that's not just a superstar move anymore. That's trickling all the way down to where I'm at. I've started asking brands I work with for a revenue share on merch drops instead of just a flat sponsorship for a tour date. Even a small percentage of a product line beats a one-time check because that check spends the same day. But the percentage keeps hitting every time somebody buys a hoodie. For indie artists listening, you don't need a Jay-Z-sized deal to use this. If a small brand wants you to post about their product, ask what a rev share or a small equity piece looks like instead of a flat rate. Worst case, they say no, and you take the check anyway. Best case, you're building something that pays you after the tour is over.
This connects straight back to knowledge of self. Before you can negotiate equity instead of a check, you have to actually know what you're worth. Your numbers, your reach, your leverage. That's the foundation. That's the one. Everything after that is wisdom, sharing what you know, and understanding, actually applying it in a real deal.
And once you get that equity, the real strategist move is what you do with it next. Don't just let it sit in your personal name. Talk to a lawyer about holding it in a trust or an LLC, same way you'd want your publishing catalog held. That's how a $100 million payout turns into something your kids are still living off of, instead of a number that disappears in 5 years.
That's the whole point of the culture shifting from flexing the check to flexing the ownership stake. An endorsement ends when the money clears. Equity keeps paying, keeps compounding, and it's something you can actually pass down or sell later on your own terms.
Build instead of just taking the bag. That's Clone Wars for today. Appreciate y'all riding with us. We'll get into the next one soon.